Hello everyone, quite a few of you have asked for another video where I go through some arithmetic questions. So this is the second one in what might become a bit of a series. And what I'll do, I'll model the way that I tackle these questions. Whenever I've got a mixed number and there's a calculation to do with fractions, the best rule of thumb is just to get rid of the mixed number, turn it into an improper fraction. So 2 2/5. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 2 is 12/5, minus 1 1/5, which is 6/5. Then that becomes nice and easy. 12 minus 6 is 6. The denominator remains the same. So the answer could be 6/5. Perfectly good answer. But that also, you can convert it back to a mixed number. 5/5 would take you to one whole number, and then you've left with 1/5 as a remainder. So your answer could either be 6/5 or 1 1/5. Next question, 7/8 minus 3/4. It's impossible to do these without getting the denominators the same. You know that 4 can go into 8, so I would keep them as eighths. So we've got 7/8 minus, now we need to turn the quarters into eighths. Now what I always say is whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So to make a 4 into an 8, you times it by 2. Do exactly the same to the top. 3 times 2 is 6. That then makes the calculation quite simple. You've got 7/8 minus 6/8 equals 1/8. Really nice and simple. Next one we've got here is a division. Just short division will do. £2.48 divided by 8. 2.48 divided by 8. And it's the simple way that we would do short division. The decimal point might worry you, but I'll explain what we'll do about that as we proceed. So how many 8s go into 2? Well, that's 0. How many 8s go into 24? Well, we've got 8, 16, 24, so that gets 3. How many 8s go into 8? That's 1. And the simplest thing to do is just to bring up the decimal point and go there. So the answer is 0.31. Now one thing to remember, the question was in pounds. So I would be putting the pound sign in here. So you've got, basically you're saying 31p. So if you had put an answer of 31p, that would be perfectly fine. I'd be a bit worried about just writing the number 31 because technically that isn't correct. Either of these two would be perfect. Next question. Now this, we are using our order of operations. We do multiplications before we do any additions. So 9 times 3 is 27 plus 21. So we've got 27 plus 21 gives you 48. So the 48 balances, whenever you see an equal sign in a calculation like this, I like to think of it as a balance. Whatever's on that side has to equal whatever is on that side. Now that equals 48, this side equals 48, so the answer, quite simply, 48. Last one here, we've got a multiplication including a decimal, including a fraction. The way I like to do these, 2/3 times, and then I put 5, but I actually do it as a fraction. So 5/1, which makes it nice and easy. Then you can just multiply the denominator, which is 3 times 1, which is 3. Multiply the numerator, so you have 10/3. Now, you can write that as your answer, 10/3, but it looks better if you convert that back to a mixed number. So that would be 3 1/3. Okay, next one. So now we have 2.6 multiplied by something equals 2,600. Now the way I would do this one, I would write down 2,600 Remembering my place value, I would write down 2.6, and then I would look to see how many steps to the left does the 2 have to go. 1, 2, 3. If we move 3 steps, we know that that has to be multiplied by 1,000. So the answer is simply 1,000. Next question. You've got a large number here, 859,092. You've got another large number, 857,992. They're quite similar numbers. There's not much difference in them, about 2,000 difference, maybe not even that. So the number that you need to find is going to be a fairly small number. The only way you're going to find a fairly small number in comparison from them is by subtracting from 859,092. You subtract 857,992. So all we do here, 2 minus 2 is 0, 9 minus 9 is 0. You can't take away 9 from 0, so I need to exchange here. So that 8 becomes a 9, so the 9 becomes an 8. That 1 then becomes a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. 8 minus 7 is 1. 5 minus 5 is 0. 8 minus 8 is 0. So the answer, 1,100. Next one here, we've got a negative number, negative 23 plus 14. With these, I always like to do a number line, just to make sure that I've got my eye in on what's going on. So I always put 0. The lowest number that we've got here is minus 23. Now that minus 23, I'm adding 14 to it. So I'm going towards 0. I don't get as far as 0 because I would need 23 to get there. But I'm basically adding 14 to it. So I'm adding 14. That would get me to negative 9. Next one that we have here, it's a nice long multiplication, 756 multiplied by 25. When I set these out, I like to put the 0 under there, just so that when I multiply the tens, I don't forget it. That's sort of the mistake that a lot of people make, forgetting that 0. Anyway, 5 times 6 is 30. 0 down, carry the 3. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 3 is 28, carry the 2. 7 times 5, 35, plus the 2 is 37. Next one down, 2 times 6 is 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus the 1 is 11, carry the 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus the 1, 15. Then the easy bit, just adding the 2 rows together. 0 plus 0 is 0, 8 plus 2 is 10, carry the 1. 7 plus 1 plus 1 is 9. 3 plus 5 is 8, and 1 on its own is 1. So 18,900. Now hopefully when you look at this number, you know what I'm going to say. This mixed number we need to convert to a fraction. To make it easier for us, we'll also convert the 3 to a fraction. The fraction that we convert everything to is fifths. That's the only fraction that they're using in this calculation. Now to work out how many fifths 3 are, all you do is times 3 times 5. So here you've got 15 fifths, subtract 1 and 2 fifths. Well, 1 fifth is 5, plus the 2 that are there already, so you've got 7 fifths. 15 minus 7 equals 8 fifths. Now you could write 8 fifths as an answer, or you convert that back to a mixed number, 1 and 3 fifths. Anyway, I hope that's helped. See you soon. Bye bye.